So a lot of guys who are very rich, they lead with money. Like that's the only thing that they lead with. They lead with like their car, they lead with like how much money they make. They tell the girl about like, you know, what they've done, all their like success stories and stuff like that. Or, you know, when they try to take a girl out, they try to immediately flex their car or flex their home or flex their lifestyle or you know, on Instagram or things like that. And think about it. What type of women are you attracting if you're trying to flex and you're just leading with your money? Probably leading women that are like Deontay Taylor's wife, right? It's very simple, man. It's really not that complicated. Like I try to just simplify everything, right? But that's just the truth. If you're a rich guy, don't lead with your money. Dude, if like one little tip here, if you're a very successful dude and you like a girl, don't take her out on that, you know, Lamborghini or whatever car you're driving. Buy another car, buy like a Ford Pinto and like, or like a Camry, something just basic, and pick her up in that. Let's see how she responds, right? Don't immediately, as soon as you meet a girl, you're trying to buy her flowers, you're trying to go on this amazing dinner, going to the freaking NBA game, or you're trying to do all this. That leading with money, leading with like what you have is the worst way to lead. If anything, you want to qualify women by, you know, looking at their patterns, looking at the way that they behave when you pick them up in the Camry. When the first date is just very simple. Grabbing some frozen yogurt, right? Grabbing some boba, grabbing a coffee, just simple things. Think about it like this, right? If a girl's so mad that you just invited her to like go to the beach and like go and hang out at the beach, or like grab a coffee and walk in the park, or you know, grab a drink or something, she's so mad, think about what that's gonna lead to. Think about the type of person that she is. She's angry. She's like, oh, I don't do that at all. I need my guy to give me the 5-star Michelin restaurant and da-da-da-da-da-da. Like, okay. Think about what that's going to lead to if you start to date her, if you start to marry her, the type of woman she is, right? It's very simple to qualify these girls, man. If you pick her up on the camera and she's pissed, or, you know, you take her to just a very simple thing, you know, and she's mad, dude, that's the type of woman that she is, right? But if she's grateful, she's happy, she's like enjoying your company, these are good things to keep going, right? Maybe later, if she earns it, then you can take her out to dinner. You can do all that stuff, but you got to make sure you know, test her first, qualify her first. A lot of guys don't do that. Right? You want to find a woman that's your ride or die. I cannot stress that enough, right? If you're rich, great, but you got to have to weed out those women. And there's ways to do that. Deontay Wilder's story. I saw this reel, or was it like a picture on Instagram or something like that the other day? Let me read it to you guys. This is what he put. He put, I gave her everything. So it's this guy, Deontay Wilder. I don't know if you guys know. He's like a really famous boxer. I really like him. He's like a freaking awesome like boxer who like knocks out a bunch of people. Super cool. He was like super successful like a couple years ago. And all of a sudden he just started losing. And he started going on a downward spiral. And I think he got married to this woman. I don't know how long or whatever, but this is what he put, right? He says, I gave her everything. As soon as I started losing, she filed for divorce. Damn, right? So when he was successful, she went to him, right? Because he was a successful guy. And then as soon as he started losing, right? And he started probably losing his money, started getting like, you know, all this stuff where he just wasn't doing well like he used to. She immediately was like, on to the next baby, on to the next successful guy, right? Now, what can we all learn from here? Okay. There's a lot of guys out in the red pill space that are like, I told you, should, like, oh, women only want this. But those guys are so bitter. That's the thing, right? What are we talking about in this video here? We're saying that we got to choose the right woman. Do you think that Deontay Wilder had any experience about how to choose the right woman? Or do you think that he just chose her because, you know, she came to him and she's a predator and she's like, oh, this guy's successful. Let me try to like hunt him down. And he's winning. He's like, hey, what's up, girl? You know, you want me? Of course you want me. You know, let's go. I'm going to marry you. You know, that he's successful, he's rich. And then he starts to lose. Starts losing his money maybe. What does she do? She leaves. Are you surprised that happened? Like, I'm not surprised. Once again, we're talking about finding the right wife. We're talking about finding a good woman, finding your ride or die, not someone who's going to just be there when you're rich. And if you lose it all, she's going to just immediately leave, right? No, we're talking about if you lost it all, or maybe you're going through a tough time, She's gonna still be there for you. And like, you're gonna continue to build, you're gonna get another job, you're gonna make it happen, you're gonna continue going. She's gonna be there for you for life, right? That's a big difference there. So I guarantee you he chose the wrong girl. And a lot of guys will be like, once again, they're hating, they're bitter, hating on women. I'm over here saying, take responsibility, my guy. You chose the wrong girl, dude. Maybe next time you can choose the right girl. The next one, why most men fail, is because they get deceived by a woman's beauty. Okay, this is a big one here, right? A lot of guys get deceived by a woman's beauty. That's our kryptonite. Our kryptonite for man is visual. So we see a beautiful girl, we disregard the red flags. We disregard who she really is. We disregard her character. We disregard if she's actually going to be a good wife. And a lot of guys just end up marrying a wife as like a trophy wife, or just as like someone to brag, right? Check this girl out. She's super attractive, and all the guys are like, yeah, she's hot, but yet she's flirting with every guy, or is doing a lot of bad things, right? So like, you can't get deceived by a woman's beauty. Okay, in Proverbs 5:35, it clearly talks about this, right? In the Bible. Okay, let me read it to you guys really quick. Let me take a look. Proverbs 5:3-5. Oh, here we go. Okay, I found it. So, for the lips of an immoral woman are as sweet as honey, and her mouth is smoother than oil. But in the end, she is bitter as poison, as dangerous as a double-edged sword. Her feet go down to death. Her steps lead straight to the grave. Damn, that is powerful, right? How many women have ruined men's lives? How many men's lives have gotten ruined because of women? Because they chose the wrong woman. So many, right? I know a lot of guys who, they start dating these girls, and they're like, man, she's super attractive, she's super beautiful, but yet she loves to go out, loves to party, loves to drink, loves to, do drugs, loves that toxic lifestyle. And, the guys are like, well, she's so attractive, I'm not going to leave, or, I don't care. And then they end up marrying the girl, and a couple years later they get divorced, and then they're like, oh, women are horrible, they're all toxic. But I'm over here, I'm like, I told you not to choose that girl. But of course they're not going to listen, because they think that she's going to change. But it's all about recognizing patterns. It's all about pattern recognition. Noticing a woman more than just what she says, but by going through her actions, right? And not just getting duped by her beauty, because beauty is common. Does she have a good heart? Does she have good morals? Does she have good values? Does she actually do the right thing? Is there any red flags that you see? Is there patterns that are really bad? Maybe you can address them, or maybe you can't. But it's up to you to set the boundaries, to choose the right person, right? And a lot of guys choose the wrong girl because they're hot, and simply destroys them, right? One of my clients, he had a friend who married this girl, and he the way his mind was like, oh, she's so hot, she's so much more beautiful than me, she's so pretty. He married her, had a kid, and now she filed for divorce. They're divorced, they have a kid together, and now she's threatening him, blackmailing him, saying when she hangs out with him, as they're sharing custody, she's like, oh, I'm not gonna give her breast milk and stuff like that. And the guy's super depressed. He's paying child support. He's on the verge of he's on a downward spiral. And could we arguably say that he probably chose the wrong girl? Most likely, 1,000%, man, right? 1,000%. So it's not just about having a successful dating life. That's not what it's about. It's about choosing the right woman for life. This is for life.